So we got a lot of news today. Why did my voice crack when I said we got a lot of news today? We have a lot of news today, and a lot of it is mostly movie news because for some reason nobody at video games right now want to announce jack shit. We're kind of in the middle of like the gaming console generation, like that. When you get into the middle of the generation, it's kind of a slowdown. You know what I mean? The first 3 years are like really fast, and then year four is always the slowest in my experience. So before we get into that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And if you enjoy what you're watching, yeah, watch it all the way through and leave a comment. Thank you. So it's no secret that Twitch is kind of struggling right now as a company to make profit. While it has great traffic and it has like made some of the biggest personalities in all of the internet and of just anywhere when it comes to like video games and also just people who vlog and just talk, but it is having trouble being profitable. And the Wall Street Journal recently wrote that they're afraid that Twitch one day is going to turn into a zombie brand, and it had a lot of good reasons as to why, because of the fact that they've been kind of struggling. They kind of laid off 500 employees last year to cut cost cutting because they weren't making any money, and Amazon was like, look motherfuckers, like if you don't make a profit, like we're gonna have to break some knees up in here. So they laid off about 500 employees, and also people just aren't spending as much money on Twitch as they used to. While Twitch is one of those platforms that I think, in my opinion, has incentivized people to like support the streamer and support like and sending money and stuff. It's better than YouTube, it's better than Facebook. Twitch just does it really well. The problem is that people aren't spending that much on subscriptions and donations, and in my opinion, one of the reasons why that is because of the fact that Twitch's algorithm is kind of shit. They're trying to fix it because really, like, there's no like, that's the one weakness of Twitch, is that it doesn't have a good discoverability like the way YouTube does or like the way TikTok does. But they do have the community that pays. But people aren't just paying anymore, and they're expected to lose at least $250 million in 2025 from that alone. When they reached out for comment on what they thought about it, a spokeswoman for Amazon told the Wall Street Journal that the company still feels confident in Twitch's potential, which is such a red flag in my opinion. Like if a company tells you like, yeah, what do you think about all this fucked up shit that's going on? Like, well, we may not done good, but we have potential. That's always like, I don't know, that seems like a red flag to me. I if I was saying like, oh, we expect that Twitch is going to be profitable eventually, or say something that we're working really hard to try to improve situation at Twitch, but they're like, oh, it has potential. It's always like that broken down car that's like, it has potential. So like, kind of a red flag. But people have been saying that Twitch has been dying for like years now, and it's still making money. It may not make as much money like as they wanted to, and it might not make a profit like at all, but damn, creators have done really well on there. So like, everybody's been saying they're dying, but we'll see. I doubt it. And like, I don't want them to die. Like, why? I don't know why anybody would want Twitch to die. Like, it's good to have competition. If you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, Roll20 is going to have Discord integration, and this is something that people have been asking for the longest time, at least for me, because like during the pandemic, this would have been amazing to have, and I imagine if we ever go through another one, well, now we're gonna have Roll20 integration, virtual tabletop software, directly into Discord, and it's going to include Cyberpunk, Dungeons and Dragons, Dune, and more. Roll20 is like hoping that they make it easier for Dungeons and Dragons to be accessible for a lot of people, and for tabletop in general to be available to more people. And with this Discord integration, they commented and said this integration makes a pivotal moment for the hobby, offering an unprecedented level of convenience to players and dungeon masters. By leveraging Discord's intuitive community features and enabling their vast user base access to adventure at the click of a button, we're opening the door for even more players to discover and enjoy tabletop RPGs. So they're going all in. I'm pretty sure you're gonna need Nitro in order to use this, but to be honest with you, Nitro has always been kind of a waste of money. Like, let's just be real. Unless you have a server, it's kind of a waste of money. It's not really worth it. And this is the cutting the cutting edge app that Discord needed in order to convince me to get Nitro, because like, to be real, Nitro is kind of like, it's a kind of a waste, but I can see somebody buy some fucking Discord stocks, but because god damn, they're gonna do really good after this. I know me and my friends are more than likely gonna look into this to play, and that's gonna be really, really cool. I can't wait to see the features and the things that it's gonna have in it. I can only imagine. And yeah, they're gonna be announcing more stuff with Roll20 very, very soon. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. For the first time, surgeons implant a titanium heart in a human, and it's one of the coolest and nerdiest things that I've ever seen in my entire life, because we're entering a time where we're about to enter the cyberpunk era of humans, to where we can implant like anything, heal instantaneously, and probably live a lot longer than we should normally. But with medical advancements, the way it's going in the next 10 years, this is what's happening. It's literally a titanium heart with a valve that pumps the blood like any other normal heart would, and it's meant to be a temporary thing while you get the real thing and an actual heart put inside of you, a donor heart. So basically what the FDA approved is a temporary heart that people can use in order to wait for a donor heart, and it essentially like eliminates somebody passing away, or eventually having some kind of medical advancement where you can print your own heart and you put a heart in, because this is where like it's going eventually, guys. Like, it's getting to the point where we're gonna have breakthroughs that we thought that we would never have before, which is really exciting. I can't wait to see what more they do with this, and yeah, like, it's pretty freaking sweet. So if you're a fan of Astrobot, then you're probably gonna be a fan of the new game that's coming out. Then you're gonna be a fan of the limited edition controller that they're making for Astrobot's new sequel, which is coming out soon, and also the controller is coming out soon. It is probably one of the biggest let 'em cook moments I've ever seen in my entire life, because people were begging for this. They're like, I hope they make a controller like this. I let my friend play it, and they have that controller in the Astrobot demo game that you get, kind of mini game that you get with a PlayStation 5 for free, which, by the way, if you haven't played, is probably one of the cutest and funnest games that show you what the DualShock can DualSense can do. It's not the DualShock anymore. The DualSense can do. It's really, 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 really cool. But the controller's in there, and the first thing that she said when she played it was like, I hope they make a controller like that, which they listened, and in the greatest chef cook made this adorable thing. I'm not gonna lie, I might spend $70 and buy this, because that's fucking adorable. I kind of need it. So if you've been living under a rock, Deadpool and Wolverine has just come out last weekend, and it has become the biggest box office opening for a rated R movie, which is $443 million. And yeah, it's already gonna be a top seller all time when it comes to like ticket sales. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I think this movie is more than likely gonna be the highest grossest rated R movie ever, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the Joker, because Joker is up there with kind of like 1.1, like close to 1.1. I think it's 1,803,000 or some shit like that. But yeah, like it's pretty high up there, and rightfully so. I know a lot of critics didn't really like this movie as much as Deadpool 2. I think Deadpool 3 is funnier, it's gorier, and it's a lot more itself. It's probably not the funniest. I would say not the funniest of the Deadpools. I would give that to Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2. But this new Wolverine and Deadpool is really a send-off to the Fox universe. It's saying goodbye, it's paying its respects, and it's kind of bringing in Deadpool to the new era of the MCU. And I'm really excited to what they do with Deadpool. Although Ryan Reynolds did say that he's probably not going to make any more standalone Deadpool movies, because not only would his wife divorce him, but his kids would divorce him too, because this took 3 years of his life, and I don't blame him. I think what he means is he's probably not going to produce any more movies anymore. If he comes out in movies, it's either going to be as a character like the way Wolverine came out in Deadpool, and kind of be a character that is not his own standalone movie, which I understand. I mean, some of the best movies are Thor Ragnarok and these other movies where they have two superheroes that they put together. I'm hoping that they put Spider-Man and Deadpool together very, very soon. because that chemistry, I can only imagine how good it is. Ryan Reynolds and Tom Holland. So SAG-AFTRA has been negotiating some deals for some video game companies like Activision, Warner Brothers, and Walt Disney. That also includes Take-Two in trying to kind of make a contract with the union. And for the last year, they've kind of been coming to an agreement with when it comes to wages, job safety, and protection. But the one thing that comes kind of in the way of all that is the protections from AI. And a lot of companies are reluctant to kind of give into the union having control over what AI is and what they don't use in AI, because companies are really fucking greedy. And the truth is, the reason why AI is so hyped up right now is not necessarily because they're trying to make normal people like us lives better, but kind of take normal people like us and their jobs away from you. And that is the truth of what they're trying to say. There has been several CEOs have come out and said that, like, no, this is to improve our company and try to make a more profitability by not depending on a human. So you can't really blame this union, SAG-AFTRA, to be kind of very, very, very like apprehensive at the fact of just giving any leeway with AI technology. And I don't blame them, because they're already doing it in trying to like screw people over with AI. And SAG-AFTRA made a statement, and they say, although agreements have been reached on many issues, employees refuse to plainly affirm in clear and enforceable language that they will protect all performers covered by this contract in their AI language, SAG-AFTRA said in a statement. We're not going to consent in a contract that allows companies to abuse AI to the detriment of our members. However, the video game studios have also said that they made enough concessions to the union's demands, which the video game companies made a statement and said, "We are disappointed in the unions has chosen to walk away when we were so close to a deal," said Audrey Cooling, a spokesman for the 10-year video game producers negotiating with SAG-AFTRA. Our offer is directly responsive to SAG-AFTRA's concerns to extend meaningful AI protections that include requiring consent and fair compensation to all performers working under the Interactive Media Agreement. The Interactive Media Agreement covers artists who cover voiceover services and on-camera work used to create video game characters. So if there's some game companies in there that you're hoping to look for a game that's going to come out sometime soon, sorry to break it to you, you might have a delay, and rightfully so. I would not give in if I were SAG-AFTRA in any of the AI demands that they have, no matter how close they were, because that one thing will hurt workers in the end, and it is a guarantee that it will. So good luck to them. I hope they get a deal soon. I know there's a lot of video games that I'm looking forward to that are from those companies. Thankfully for you guys, Grand Theft Auto, the new Grand Theft Auto 6 is not affected by any of this, and I'm guessing because it's pretty much a done deal and already just in the finishing stages of the game. So that's at least some good news. So now for the main course, and yeah, at Comic-Con, Marvel and the MCU kind of announced a bunch of news, and a lot of it was kind of like meh news. They did officially announce that Harrison Ford is the Red Hulk and is going to be in Captain America Brave New World, which we already knew. Like, they were just kind of doing promotion and showing some footage of the movie. And then they announced that the Russo brothers were coming back to direct the next two Avengers films, which really was a inevitability. At some point, the Russo brothers probably made the three best Marvel movies that we've ever seen, like Captain America the Winter Soldier, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame are probably not only one of the best movies, but two of the biggest grossing movies of all time. So it was inevitability. There were rumors that the Russo brothers were rejected from Marvel and their script. What I think what happened is that the Russo brothers turned in a script, and Kevin Feige was like, this needs some work. We're going to reject this for now, come back with something different, and we'll work something out, which I think officially happened with the Russo brothers, because they're now announced to be coming back. And yeah, it was kind of a meh news. And then they were like, then Kevin Feige did what Kevin Feige does and kind of lie and say they only had 3 movies that they were going to announce that day, when in reality they also announced Avengers Doomsday, which was hinted to have Doctor Doom in it, and also Avengers Secret Wars, which, oh my god, the Russo brothers directing it. And not only that, it is also going to be the writer from Winter Soldier. So I am really confident that this movie is going to be really good, because the last time that guy wrote Winter Soldier, and I think he helped write Infinity War and Endgame. So like, we're off to a really good start when it comes to these movies. And again, very okay announcement for Marvel, and like, I would have been a little bit disappointed. Like, it was like, okay, that's a little bit of crumbs. Maybe you guys are saving it for D23. And then they come out, and the Russo brothers, with a bunch of Doctor Dooms, and then one Doctor Doom opens up, like they open up, and then one Doctor Doom comes out with his iconic green suit. And then the Russo brothers like, if we were gonna get somebody to play Doctor Doom, we had to get one of the best actors on the planet to do this. The guy removes his mask, and it's Robert Downey Jr., which everybody went fucking wild. I don't think I've ever heard that fucking audience in that particular auditorium go that crazy, that loud, and lose their ever-loving shit. But for some reason, the internet is kind of disappointed and excited at the same time. I see a very polarized opinion when it comes to this, and I'm not sure why people are not liking this. Like, I'm not sure why. I hear some people complaining that Robert Downey isn't Romani, so like they really don't want him to be playing Doctor Doom. I've heard some people saying that this is desperate, and like, to the people who say that, everybody was just praising Kevin Feige for having the trio of Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland come out in one movie and actually be really good. I'm not sure why this Robert Downey Jr. pick for this role is being hated on so much. Now, there are the questions of how this works. There's many ways of how this could work, and one of them is that this is just a variant in another universe. They've already kind of hinted and kind of given away that the Fantastic Four is taking place in another universe completely from the MCU 616. So it's not kind of far-fetched to say that there's a Doctor Doom there that is Victor Von Doom, that looks like Robert Downey Jr. and is that variant. And in another universe, there is Victor Von Doom, the Romanian, the guy that we know in the comics. So it's not far-fetched. That's one of the ways they can do it. They can also do it that Victor Von Doom in that universe switches minds with Tony Stark, and Tony Stark is Victor Von Doom, and Victor Von Doom is Tony Stark. Only he takes the forces of magic to be able to take down his enemies, and they've done this in a comic book before. And basically what happened is that Victor Von Doom, that is Tony Stark, the good guy, the Tony Stark as Victor Von Doom, doesn't remember anything when he switches minds with Victor Von Doom. And once he switches minds with Victor Von Doom, he doesn't remember that he was Tony Stark and he takes down Tony Stark, that is Victor Von Doom, and Victor Von Doom's like, hey, wait, I can give you your life back. I can give you what you always like, what you was taken from you. You just don't remember. And Tony Stark as Victor Von Doom is like, well, like, there is no Tony Stark. Like, why would I want to be one of like the biggest merchants of death and fucking playboy and asshole who does all these decisions when I can be just good and be Victor Von Doom? There is no Tony Stark. There is only the merciful and all-powerful Victor Von Doom. And essentially he takes the role and he is Victor Von Doom. So there's several ways that this can go. Yeah, so like, I'm not sure why people are upset. People were the exact same way, and I was one of them. I remember this happening, where people were super disappointed that Robert Downey Jr. in general was Tony Stark, and he ended up being the most pivotal actor in all of MCU. Yes, I would even say on top of fucking Chris Evans. He is the reason why the MCU is what it is today, and I wouldn't pass it by an Oscar-winning actor to get this role and to be able to play it to the fullest extent possible. I have all confidence in Robert Downey Jr., and this is one of those moves where it's like, it's either going to be really good or really bad, and I'm rooting for Marvel to really pull this off, because if it is really good, if it does work, this is gonna make Marvel very exciting and very fun to watch. I would not pass it by them that if that Victor Von Doom is gonna be in the Fantastic Four. It is rumored that Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid more than $80 million than what he used to pay for the roles that he had before. Not only is he getting paid more, but he's getting private jet service, he's getting food service, and he's also gonna have like kind of like an RV park to himself when he's filming, which is really fucking cool. And also, of course, driving service everywhere. Which, yeah, if they're paying him that much, I think he's more than likely gonna be in the Fantastic Four, at least for post-credit scene or something. So I can't wait to see. I would say, guys, give this a chance, and I think this, if done well, and if the Russo brothers have the reputation that they have with Marvel movies, I'm really looking forward to this. It is the next day and I forgot to record the outro. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you watch another video. Watch some of my YouTube shorts. Watch my long form content if you want to support. That's one way to support the channel, is watching a video and watching it all the way through. I would greatly appreciate it. And remember, you're pretty good.